I was sitting here and I was just watching that moment. I understood my white privilege video on YouTube. And I guess it's some producer, assistant, or something like that, telling the story about in the early 90s in LA that, Steve Harvey played a joke on. Got together with some comedians. He was the only white person in the club and he had to sit on this throne. And he's telling all these jokes. And he was talking about how he got to be a tourist as a minority. You know what sucks in America? You know what sucks in general? Probably worldwide. It's just being a minority. So let me tell you my story. When I was a kid, I was maybe one of 5 or 6 white kids in my school. I remember I was getting bullied so bad in 2nd grade that I had to change classrooms. Because, well, they had a white teacher in that room. So they figured maybe life would be a little bit easier for me. So they moved me to this room. And there was this kid and his 3 or 4 other friends. Now this kid had failed 2 times already. And I mean, he was ruthless. I got beat up over 100 times that year. He never got suspended. I got choked against a wall because I beat him in checkers. Because I remember I finished my math homework done. And apparently he got every single one wrong, but he scribbled on the paper so he'd go beat me up in the back room. Then I got in trouble for it. So then, I think it was that year too, I'd been playing football or something with some of my friends at the bus stop. And I had a hole in my shirt because I got tackled. You know, it happens. That was another thing. Ooh, the bus stop. I could play with my friends, my neighbors sometime. I wonder how many of you have been kicked out of your best friend's home because of your skin color. Having a best friend, another best friend, because he had the same name as me, Tony Wade. And we went to go pick him up for a baseball game that we'd been talking about for weeks. But then when his dad came to the door and said he couldn't come with us. And never got to play with him again. Having 3 or 4 of my best friends. Next door neighbors. My older brothers were ruthless. But, I got kicked out. Playing football with all my friends in the front yard, and his dad apparently singles me out and kicks me off because he doesn't want people on his yard, even though everybody else was allowed to play. Now, I guess my only blessing was I didn't know why everybody else, all the other kids, were making fun of me. I knew they all said I was white and white people are trashy and they got ugly homes and, nobody's ever going to want to be with a white person in that neighborhood and stuff like that. I didn't really know what it all meant. So I guess that's a little bit of a blessing. I'm guessing maybe some people should watch what they say in their homes in front of their kids because they pick it up. And whether you are a minority and black or you're a minority in your neighborhood and white, you should probably watch what you say in front of your kids because they take that back to the school. Anyways. So, back to my story. I have this hole in my shirt and go to school. Next thing I know, I think it was CPS was called on us by the principal of the school because they had made a complaint to her that I was getting beat up by a gang of kids. There's 4 of them every recess. I had to go, anytime I try to go play, with the other kids, or they would inevitably find me. If I could outrun them and get to the hall monitor, then he'd stick me by the door with all the kids who were bad, and where the other teacher had to watch them. So it was pretty much just being on detention for your entire recess for like elementary school. Oh God, anytime. I remember playing pick 'em up, mess 'em up. Sit here, if I tackled them, every time, just get up and start fighting. God, I was in so many fights. None of them got in trouble. I got in trouble quite a few times. I took it out on them in 6th grade, though, when I got a little bit bigger. But, I mean, that's no way to take care of it. And then finally, my parents moved. And then I had no idea how to get along with white kids. All I knew was how to fight and, just talk and act black, more or less. Yeah, my parents complained that I got beat up at lunch so many times. And then CPS was called. We had to take pictures. I had to get in everything that I wore for like a week or two, and they had to take pictures, and then we had to have meetings. I didn't understand then. So I guess that's my blessing, though. I didn't understand why it was happening to me. Couldn't imagine, being older and, being the only one in the room or knowing why certain things were happening. But I do find it interesting now that as an adult, I'm told I can't understand these things because I'm white. They identify me by my entire race to tell me I can't understand these things about how it feels to be the only person in your school, or maybe there's only 12 or 15 black kids in a school, but I don't know what that feels like because I'm white. And I hear about my white privilege, and I read papers on it because I'm trying to understand it. I can't personalize it, and I think I just figured this out because I watched this That Moment video. They say, well, you can turn on the TV and see people who look like you. I watch Family Matters. I watched Channel 2 News, Fox Detroit. It was all black anchors. But I don't understand what it feels like to not see your skin color represented. I mean, everywhere I went, I was the only white kid there. All my friends were black because they had to be. There wasn't any other white kids around me. But I don't understand these things because I'm white. So I guess this is my That Moment video. I don't understand white privilege because I never had it. Maybe my parents did, but I don't think I did. But I don't understand this because I'm white. I don't know why I'm thinking about this tonight. I guess that moment video made me understand my white privilege.